Hey 6 to 9 friends, this is Leslie from Desert Studio. Today I'm going to do a science experiment with you. I am here at home, and so I'm going to have my own children, Nathan and Caroline, who's behind the camera, help us out today. So let's get started. These are the materials you're going to need for this experiment. First of all, you're going to need 3 coffee filters. You'll need some water. Doesn't have to be in a water bottle, just making sure you know it's water. You'll need some rubbing alcohol, some white vinegar. You'll need 3 glasses. I'm using 3 clear glasses, but you can use plastic glasses if you like, and they don't have to be clear. I'm just using clear glasses so that you can see better during the experiment. And you'll also need some colored Sharpies. If you only have black Sharpies at home, that is okay. You can just use black. These just happen to be the colors that I had here, so those are the ones that I chose. And I have labels in front of the glasses. You're going to be needing to label them. So if you're using plastic glasses, you can write directly on them. If not, just make sure that you can create some labels for them. This science experiment is going to be about something called solubility. Solubility is the ability of a substance to mix or dissolve into a liquid. For example, salt and sugar are both soluble. They're soluble because if you put some salt or sugar into water and spoon it in and mix it up, it will dissolve or mix and become part of the water. So salt and sugar are soluble. Sugar is an example of a substance that is soluble. If I put sugar in this water and mix it up, it dissolves. That means it mixes into or dissolves into the water. So sugar is soluble. The question for today's experiment is, are permanent markers really permanent? So make sure that you're using Sharpies or other permanent markers, not washable markers like Crayola. The first thing we're going to do in this experiment is to use our coffee filters and our Sharpies. And we're going to be drawing 3 circles in the middle of the coffee filters. Now, I just happen to be using these colors because this is what I happen to have here at home, but I know a lot of people probably only have black Sharpies, and that's fine. You can just do 3 black circles if you like, one inside the other. Don't get too close to the edge of the coffee filter. You'll see why in a moment. And also make sure before you start doing this to have several pieces of paper or something thick under your coffee filter so that you don't bleed markers through onto your table or your counter or whatever surface is underneath. When you're finished, you'll have 3 coffee filters with 3 Sharpie circles on them. The next step is going to be to fold each of your 3 coffee filters in half twice. In half once, in half twice. And do that with each of the coffee filters. Now it's time for our 3 cups and our 3 liquids. First, put some water in your first cup. And then vinegar in your second cup. And some rubbing alcohol in the third cup. See if I can do this without making a mess. I should have taken that lid off. There we go. Okay, so we have our 3 coffee filters that are folded, and they have the 3 colors of marker on them. And we are going to, Nate and I are going to submerge these in our three liquids. Nate, if you want to go ahead and get started. Now the question is, our question was, are permanent markers really permanent? And we're putting the marker that's on this paper in water and in vinegar and in rubbing alcohol. Make sure that you have all three lines of your marker submerged under the liquids. And the question is, are they really permanent? Will the ink from the marker stay on the paper? Or is it soluble? Will it dissolve into the three liquids? Let's wait 10 to 15 minutes to see. While we're waiting to see what happens with our experiment, let's go back to our original question. We start with questions in science because that's what science is really all about. It's a way to answer questions about the world around us. In science, we attempt to answer our questions through observing and experimenting, which we're doing today. So our original question was, are permanent markers really permanent? What I'd like you to do while we're waiting is make a prediction about what you think is going to happen. What's going to happen to those coffee filters in the cups, in the vinegar, and in the rubbing alcohol, and in the water? What will happen to the ink that is on the coffee filters? So here's what I wrote for my prediction. I think there will be little to no dissolving of the ink in the water, some dissolving in the vinegar, and the most amount of dissolving in the rubbing alcohol. And if you don't want to write your prediction, you could also just draw it. So I sort of drew a picture of what I think it's going to look like in the cups after my 15 minutes are up. So this is a view of looking down on top of the cups and sort of the wedge-shaped or the triangle-shaped coffee filter. So I drew my cup of water. I don't think there's really going to be much dissolving. So I've got my 3 Sharpie marks pretty dark on that still. And in the vinegar, I think, I don't know, but I'm predicting that there will be a little bit of dissolving in the vinegar. And then when it comes to the rubbing alcohol, I think there's probably going to be the most of all. So I've drawn my marker marks very, very faintly there. Give this a try right before you put your coffee filters in your cups or while you're waiting for your 10 to 15 minutes, but no peeking at the results until you've made your prediction. Okay guys, at this point you're going to want to stop watching this video because if you keep watching, you're going to see some of the results from my experiment and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So at this point, stop the video and go ahead and do your experiment at home. And after you've done that, and you've waited your 10 or 15 minutes, and you've seen your results, come back to this spot on the video and watch the rest. Really. Okay, let's see what our results are. Nathan, what do you observe? Actually,
I have observed that while the water and the vinegar have not dissolved much, the rubbing alcohol has dissolved the ink a lot.
Let's see.
And it looks like the silver hasn't dissolved much at all, but the black has gone all the way up to the edge of the coffee filter.
So this is the rubbing alcohol. Let's get a closer look at the vinegar. I don't really see. There's nothing on the top of the paper here. Okay, and then let's look at the water. Oops, sorry, there's a shadow. I don't notice any difference in the water. So water, vinegar, it looks like there's a little bit of bleed with the vinegar though, because it's got that purplish look to it maybe. And then
Yeah, I agree.
rubbing alcohol. Oh, the peach color, especially with the rubbing alcohol, really spread out. Now that I've observed my results, I am going to record my results. And so what I did was I just drew another picture of the water glass, the vinegar glass, and the alcohol glass with the stripes of marker and whether or not they faded. based on what I observed, my observations, and then I can compare my results for what actually happened in the experiment to my prediction. So here was my prediction to begin with. And so if I put them side by side, I can compare them and see how they're the same and how they might be different. And you can record your results too. You can draw a picture or you can write about it if you like. Okay friends, so that ends our solubility experiment. If you have these materials at home, go ahead and give it a shot. And we look forward to seeing your predictions and your results. Have fun!